This week on Siskel and Ebert, Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd hunt the man who kidnapped her in Kiss the Girls.
Janine Garofalo finds herself knee-deep in Irish Blarney in The Matchmaker.
And Sean Penn, Jennifer Lopez, and Nick Nolte star in Oliver Stone's comic thriller U-Turn.
An intruder awakens Ashley Judd in that scene from Kiss the Girls, a new thriller starring Morgan Freeman. It's one of 5 new movies we'll be reviewing this week on Siskel and Ebert. I'm Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Kiss the Girls will remind audiences of Morgan Freeman's successful 1995 thriller Seven, and is intended to. It has similar intelligent dialogue, similar shadowy cinematography, and a similar serial killer plot based on a kinky novel by Richard North Patterson. But the film works on its own terms as an exciting, creepy experience centering on 2 very strong performances. Ashley Judd stars in the film as a physician who's kidnapped by a weird abductor who signs himself Casanova. After she escapes, she holds a press conference in which she speaks directly to the villain.
I broke your rules. Just me. None of the other women helped. So if you're looking for someone to blame, blame me.
Listening intently is Morgan Freeman as a forensic psychologist based in Washington, D.C. Earlier in the film, we see Freeman on the case in North Carolina as one of Casanova's victims is found tied to a tree. This out-of-town cop has a personal interest in the killer because his own niece is one of the kidnapped victims. Who is this man who kidnaps but doesn't kill all his victims? Freeman explains his theory to local cop Kerry Elwes and FBI man J.O. Sanders.
This guy's a collector. I bet these women are alive.
Come on, Doc. My boy's brain is soft as a 2-minute egg and nothing personal. But I figure every one of them gals is tied to a tree just waiting to get found.
Well, think about it, Sykes. The 3 you found were killed out of sequence. They weren't even among the first abducted.
That's right.
Yeah, but that don't mean that they're not still out there.
Oh, but hell, he would have found them by now. He makes absolutely no attempt to hide them.
Freeman tries to get clues to the madman's hideout from the Judd character, who is understandably traumatized by her ordeal.
And I hear him shouting behind me, and I try to run faster. That's all I'm thinking, just run faster. I left those girls behind. I wasn't thinking. I just told myself to run.
Kiss the Girls drew me in, and it held me, largely because it takes the time to establish the characters played by Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd, and also because all the credits, the literate dialogue, the atmospheric photography, work together effectively. Morgan Freeman shows here, as he almost always does, that he's one of our best and most convincing actors, and Gary Fleeter, whose last film was Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, here abandons the ironic trickiness of that film and zeroes in on a good story that he tells powerfully.
Well, I agree with you about the talent of Morgan Freeman and Ashley Judd. I mean, she is turning out in
one movie after another. Yeah.
And they're all different. She's different. But, and this is a big exception because I don't like this picture, I was totally uninterested in seeing that talent in service of another serial killer movie. And when I say another one, boy, is my heart breaking when we get them, because I am, frankly, uninterested in the subject. I don't care. I don't see this as an important thing. I don't get anything out of it. I don't learn anything at all, Roger, and I'm not entertained.
Well, how much do you expect to learn from most thrillers? I mean, I think I learned something here about the darker side of the human mind, but I'm not going for an educational experience, Gene. I'm going because it's a thriller.
Roger, you kept using the word intelligent throughout
the dialogue, the analysis of this man's motives, the secrets that are revealed as the film goes along.
I didn't care. And Roger, here's a case of where I think sometimes film critics, and I guess I'm naming you, can get so inside of the making, of the technology, of the making of the movie, that they may miss the big picture.
I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about its effect on me.
This is worthless.
It held my attention. It interested me. It scared me. It absorbed me.
Did none of those things
It
for
goes
me.
right down. It has a third act. It has all of those things. The fact that you weren't interested means that the movie couldn't have won.
No.
No movie on this subject. Silence of the Lambs didn't like that either, right? Not interested in serial killers.
I had a problem with that. That one is far more intelligent than this. At least it started the trend of it. But this seems like almost a ripoff in the sense, who cares? How can we do? You know what? It's like the story conference. They love these serial killer stories. Let's give them another one.
Not that
and
easy
why
to
these
make a
two?
good one.
And apparently not. I agree with you. This isn't one. Okay, next movie. And our next film is a mostly amusing small town in Ireland comedy called The Matchmaker that only gets into trouble as a rather bland satire on American politics. Jeanine Garofalo, a wonderful comic actress with a true cynical edge, plays a campaign worker in Massachusetts working on the re-election campaign of a doofus United States senator. She's assigned to go back to Ireland to find his roots, his ancestors, in a remote Irish village to help court the Irish vote in Boston.
His ancestors? You mean like all those other American politicians that come over trying to secure the Irish vote? Those ancestors.
Cynical.
What's going on in the village, by sheer coincidence, however, is more interesting than any political maneuvering. It's a matchmaker's festival, a festival of adults being fixed up with potential marriage partners. That's why Garofalo draws a crowd at a local pub.
Excuse me, hi, good afternoon, thank you for coming. But if anyone is here just to propose to me, you should leave now, because this has nothing to do with the matchmaking festival.
What endures about the matchmaker, though, are the fringe characters. We meet like a crusty old coot on a neighboring island.
I'm looking for a family called the McGlorys, who moved to Boston a long time ago.
A long time ago. Oh, Jesus, that's a great help. That really narrows it down. Tell me, is that fella Dermot O'Brien still conning tourists into marrying complete strangers?
That's a funny character, and there are many in this picture. But the matchmaker, I think, goes soft when it returns to the United States and gets back to politics, saying nothing that Robert Redford in The Candidate didn't say better 20 years ago. As a result, just a marginal positive recommendation for me. I wish the American scenes had the unpredictability of the Irish ones.
Yeah, well, I liked it, I think, more than you. I think those American scenes are just a setup for the ending of the film. They only take about 10 minutes. I agree they're weak, but they're not important. They take a very little part.
Well, it is the ending of the
picture,
picture,
Roger. And you didn't mention Milo O'Shea, who plays the old matchmaker himself,
He's
and
very good.
who also has a little lecture that he's delivering straight to the camera on matchmaking and on relationships. And Garofalo, in one picture after another,
I agree with you.
She has a screen, kind of a luminous, an intelligence, yes,
That's it.
but also when she smiles, the screen lights up. She is so likable, and in this movie, she's not playing some kind of soft, mushy, romantic person. She's over here. In Ireland, she's cynical. She doesn't believe in any of this matchmaking. She doesn't like her boss, and she's mad at the world.
And you know where the cynicism comes from. You can only be cynical if you see what's really going on.
Yeah.
She has not stooped in playing the role. She's not dumbed down. They can't dumb her down. She's a big talent because of it. Coming up later, Kate Capshaw rules a ranch with a lot of twisted secrets in The Locusts.
Everything should be in order. The last tenant was very tidy.
And coming up next, Sean Penn lands in a town that is truly without pity in Oliver Stone's U-Turn.
I have to get out of here.
So I got off the elevator and said, what is this, the 7th inning stretch? American Express.
Lovely.
Let's do the whole country. I'm a little light on the lingo.
Get a full gander down the front with me.
All right.
We've got Cornish pasties, bangers and mash, pumpkin sweet, and lovely toadle.
That was a wicked googly. So I took a butcher's up the apples and pears and said, what is this, the tea interval? All over the world, you can do more with the American Express card.
Dad had the Liftmaster man put up a new garage door opener for me. I've only been driving for a couple of years. It's got this cool safety reversing sensor. Something gets in the way while the door's going down, goes back up, all by itself. So tell your folks to call a professional, the Liftmaster garage door opener man. He did a real nice job.
Bye.
How can you turn this
into this, with this. The remarkable filter inside the Brita water filtration pitcher virtually eliminates lead and chlorine. Your tap water suddenly tastes like this. Clear, fresh, wonderful. Brita. Tap into great taste.
If you drive a pickup or sports utility, take advantage of Les Schwab's Fall Tire Sale Kickoff, featuring the Northwest's most popular tires, Wild Country, on sale. For heavy-duty applications, Les Schwab's M55s are on sale. And if you're looking for an economy white letter all-season radial, ask about the all-new Trail Cat. In custom wheels, Les Schwab's popular polished aluminums are on sale. Sale prices on shocks and batteries, too. The fall season at Les Schwab. It's the season to save.
Look, Harlan, I got places. Daryl, whatever. Could you just take a look at the radiator hose? I think it's busted.
What's your radiator hose? It's busted.
I know that. What did I just tell you?
Sean Penn plays Bobby, a man on the run who develops car trouble and finds himself stranded in a nightmare in U-Turn, the new film by Oliver Stone, who for once has abandoned his usual subject of politics and satire and is making a straight comic thriller. And that was Billy Bob Thornton there as the garage mechanic from hell. In fact, everyone is from hell in Superior, Arizona, except perhaps for the sultry local beauty played by Jennifer Lopez, who invites Penn home.
Everybody have a path. They have pain, and they have something they want. What is it you want?
The same thing you do.
Somehow we're not surprised when an angry husband bursts in through the door.
Now, who in the hell are you? You better be good, or God help me, I'm gonna break you in half.
Oh, easy, Chief, easy. I was just helping out your wife. We met in town. I was just giving her a hand with the drapes. That's all.
And that was Nick Nolte chewing the scenery and having lots of fun as a mad dog whose jealousy turns to calculation. Before long, he's asking Bobby to kill his wife.
It's gotta look like an accident. If it don't, it's no good. 'Cause I won't get a dime. It'll be my neck that's on the chopping block while you're living it up somewhere.
Now, watching this movie, a mystery grew in my mind, and the mystery was, why would a great director like Oliver Stone assemble such a good cast and go to such a lot of trouble to make a completely pointless, aimless, repetitive film? It's just a flat-out disappointment, and the good acting, and it is good acting, makes it even worse because it's a shame to see it wasted.
We are totally in sync on this picture. I was thunderstruck. And I wonder why Sean Penn took it.
Maybe he thought it was an opportunity to work with Oliver Stone. And with this cast, I mean, on paper, maybe this looked like it was going to amount to something.
This is like a pyramid scheme where they get Sean Penn, and then they get Billy Bob Thornton.
And then they get Oliver Stone, and then they have Jennifer Lopez. A great performance by Jennifer Lopez.
I thought
but you know what this movie reminded me of? Russ Meyer. Cherry, Harry, and Raquel, Super Vixens, the same images, the same characters, the same situation.
I'm not as big a fan of Russ Meyer as you, but I'd rather see a Russ Meyer film picked at random than this again. I mean, my heart broke. What's going on? Now, I wonder if Stone, who's been beaten up, is he going commercial with this? Is this his idea of a commercial picture? It's a failure.
I mean, he's so smart that maybe he was just being cynical and saying, well, the heck with him. I'm just going to make a straight-out, no-holds-barred action thriller and show them, but it's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time, and also his talent, because you can see a talented filmmaker in every shot, and the way the film is worked, literally. I mean,
all you need here is for the movie to be about something, and you might have a hit.
How about a screenplay? Coming up next, a stranger in a small town runs into a buzzsaw of a sexy landlady.
Perhaps we better not ask too many questions. Had we?
Why don't you move away from my girl?
Joel, knock it off.
Are you with Buffalo Bob over here?
A stranger walks into a small-town bar looking to escape his troubled past and wanders into a future that is just as frightening. In The Locusts, a wildly overwrought melodrama that recycles plot elements from a bunch of much better movies. Here, the hunk of a stranger, played effectively, I thought, by Vince Vaughn, gets a job offer on a feedlot supervised by a vicious sex pot played by Kate Capshaw.
Yes, well, the carriage house is unlocked. Everything should be in order. The last tenant was very tidy.
If you don't know what's coming, an inscription on the painting in the big house spells it out.
No one gets out of here in one piece.
What? Capshaw's grown son, nicknamed Flyboy, is a reclusive soul who has been in a mental hospital for much of his life and is now a slave around the house. He's played by Jeremy Davies.
Mr. Hewitt was simply curious as to why you seem to spend so much time in the kitchen. We thought we might ask you. Are we to take this to mean that you're uncertain as to why you're in the kitchen?
Ashley Judd plays the most original character in the movie. She usually does in her films, in part because she's so normal. Just a decent soul who also wants to help Flyboy grow up and get away from his poisonous mother.
Flyboy, thank you for a wonderful date. It was the best one I ever had.
The Locust builds to an utterly predictable Gothic climax that is badly directed between the drifter and the mother, and that's when The Locust did more than annoy me. It got me angry because I resented having invested my time in these characters that were forced to walk through what ultimately is a hackneyed plot. Thumbs down for me.
This overwrought Gothic melodrama would have worked 40 years ago because of the steamy controversy around it, but today you sit there incredulous that this story, with all of its surprises and twists and turns and little secrets from the past, ever got past the screenplay stage. I can't imagine it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were anticipated every move, didn't you? When you talk about secrets, come on, Roger.
I more or less did. Yes.
And of course you did. I mean, it has to play out that way.
I'm not defending the film, Gene.
Okay.
I'm describing it.
Okay. I just wanted you to get more angry at it like I did.
Well, I'm not angry at it. In fact, in its own, I didn't like it, but in its own way, it amused me as a film critic just to see an attempt to make a 40-year-old movie.
Okay. Well, what you just said is funnier than anything, more entertaining than anything in the movie.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
God, is that boring.
When we come back, lion tamers, intelligent robots, and naked mole rats. They all star in Errol Morris's Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control.
There may not be a place for humans in the future if we're really successful.
Walt Disney's 16th animated classic is now on video.
You hear that, Samson?
Sleeping Beauty. It was a royal celebration until an uninvited guest decided to crash the party.
Seize that creature!
Now, a magic spell has thrown a kingdom into danger.
We must hurry.
And one hero must do battle with the ultimate evil. Share this great adventure with your family. Walt Disney's Sleeping Beauty. Now on video.
Well, folks, Doug is the man. Doug took this place global. Doug made commitments around the world. Doug convinced me to risk it all. And it was Doug who shipped everything with some company I'd never heard of. Screwed the whole thing up. And that's why Doug is locked up in the closet. Hello? You okay in there, buddy?
Next time, make it FedEx, the most reliable express company there is.
Can I come out now? No, Doug. I'm not finished singing your praises.
Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control, the brilliant new documentary by Errol Morris, is like a dazzling ballet of lives and ideas. It intercuts the stories of 4 fascinating people who are all trying, in one way or another, to exercise control over nature and perhaps at the same time to outsmart time and death. Ray Mendez is a specialist on naked mole rats, the fascinating African species of mammals that organize their lives like insects or reptiles.
And he explained to me that a mammal had been found that lived underground in these complexes. The next day I ran off to a magazine editor and told him the story and said, I have to take pictures of these animals. You have to send me to Africa.
Rodney Brooks builds robots and tries to get them to behave and improvise like living creatures.
One night, the physical robot actually moved. I mean, it was what I was working on for days, but it completely surprised me. It moved.
George Mendonca is a topiary gardener. For 40 years, he's worked in the same garden trying to shape nature to his will.
The head is most always the easiest part to do because all these things I want to do is grow straight up. Then, of course, the arms, You have to tie them down so that they'll stay down.
And Dave Hoover is an animal tamer.
An animal has one-track mind. For instance, the animal is coming after you with the idea of tearing your head off. You put the chair up, and all of a sudden he has 4 points of interest. He loses his original chain of thought because this agitates him. He can't comprehend those 4 points of interest, so what he does, he attacks the chair. He takes his wrath out on the chair.
Well, first of all, Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control is always fascinating to watch just on the simple, factual level. But then, although Morris never states it, a theme emerges in the film because all of these people are trying to attain a form of personal immortality by subjecting nature to their will, and all of them, to one degree or another, are failing. The last shot shows the old gardener wandering in the rain in his beloved garden, where that when he dies, no one will carry on his work. And we realize there's a message there for all of us. Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control has a place on my list of the year's best films.
Well, yes, and I'll tell you what is fast, cheap, and out of control. Life. I think that's what he's saying here. What I loved about the picture is that it seemed to be, Errol Morris picks odd people. These are not, somebody who's keeping naked mole rats in the house is not the normal kind of person like, you or me.
No,
normal
we don't
people.
have any.
No, we're not. We're not that weird.
Well, I have one or two.
Okay, but I felt a kinship with all of it. I thought that this was describing the human condition. This is the existential documentary.
It is. Do you know that game that children play in the arcades where something pops up out of a hole and they have to hammer it down with a hammer, and then something else pops up and they have to keep hammering it down?
Whack-a-mole, I believe.
Somebody.
Why do I know that?
Somebody once told me that's a metaphor for life. We spend our entire life, something pops up and we try to whack it down again, and that's what these four people are trying to do. Because
isn't that a description of our own show here?
How many years they work and how much expertise they have and how much intelligence and how much energy, still at the end, you just can't get the world to do what you want it to do, and that's what this film is about.
Coming up next, another look at the movies reviewed on this show.
Oh, I think the movies are the real world in a way. There are dreams, sometimes for better or for worse. There are a number of films that have those moments in them that take you to another time and place emotionally, and you are them. You become those people because you can understand their pain or you can understand their joy. You learn something about the world and a people, and maybe you learn something about yourself.
More movie choices, all digital. Unlike anything on cable, U.S. satellite broadcasting.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? How?
Travel with Joseph Van Oss Photo Safari to Kenya's land of the Maasai.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
And you'll see a culture and a wildlife like no other on earth.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
But bring your Visa card.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? Give it an American Express card.
Because this photo safari doesn't take American Express.
Wait till they hear this in Nairobi.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Because you want her to remember this passion always. Because a gift from Carl Grieve is like no other. And because there's nothing like the wonder of the world's most exquisite fine jewelry. The Inspired by Passion Italian collection at Carl Grieve, Thursday, October 9th only.
It's perfect.
Carl Grieve, downtown.
Is that leather?
That's right. This is the new Subaru Outback Limited.
Two sunroofs. Nice touch.
I hear it has full-time all-wheel drive. Yeah. Miles a turn better than the Blazer. Subaru Outback. The world's first sport utility wagon.
You know, the wife and kids would really like one of those.
Now here's a recap of the movies we reviewed on this show, and what a range of material. We had a split vote, a big one on Kiss the Girls, the serial killer thriller that I thought was little more than another pointless mad slasher movie, but with a good wasted cast. Roger, however, found it to be involving and powerful. 2 thumbs up for The Matchmaker, with the always entertaining Janine Garofalo in a better Irish small-town comedy than an American political satire. 2 thumbs down, way down for Oliver Stone's U-Turn, a creatively made but ultimately empty violent comedy about a drifter, Sean Penn, stumbling into the wrong town. 2 thumbs down for The Locusts, an utterly predictable melodrama about another drifter in the wrong town, threatened by a black widow of a landlady. But 2 enthusiastic thumbs up for Errol Morris's most original investigation of animal life on Earth, including mole rats and human beings who work as animal trainers and gardeners. Look for it to open slowly around the country in selected theaters, and that's the discovery of the show.
Well, you know, if people were to ask me, what can I go to tonight because I just want to have a great time at the movies, my answer would be fast, cheap, and out of control. Don't be put off by the fact that it's a documentary. It's the most entertaining movie out there.
Remember, you can check our votes and hear our reviews of recent movies at our website. The address is Siskel-Ebert.com, and that's it for this week. Next week, we'll be back with reviews of more new movies, including 7 Years in Tibet, starring Brad Pitt as a mountain climber stranded by war who becomes a teacher of the Dalai Lama. And also Boogie Nights, starring Mark Wahlberg as an adult film star and Burt Reynolds as the director who masterminds his career.
Eddie Adams from Torrance.
Yep.
Jack Warner, filmmaker.
Really?
Yeah. I make adult films, exotic pictures.
That's next week, and until then, the balcony is closed. And this...
In a recent taste challenge, 3 out of 4 consumers preferred Jolly Time popcorn over all others. Maybe the 4th never got a real taste. Jolly Time popcorn. Taste the fun.
Our Honey Peanut Balanced Nutrition Bar is stirring up a lot of attention these days. This all-natural snack satisfies hunger for hours in a variety of delicious flavors you won't soon forget.
Tootsie Candy Quiz. Tootsie Rolls have always been low in fat. True. Tootsie Pops are even lower in fat. True. Tootsie Candy, low fat and delicious. You'll race to unravel the world's greatest brain teasers with 30-second mysteries. Discover the excitement and intrigue of 30-second mysteries today. 30-second mysteries from University Games.